What's up YouTube and Unreal developers? In this video I'm just going to give you a quick overview and walkthrough of this Gamepad input indicator for Unreal Engine. So yeah, as you can see here, so I've got my Gamepad hooked up. I'm currently using an 8-bit Do Pro 2 controller, which is a pretty common and standard gaming controller for PCs. So really this should work with pretty much any controller. I'm just using the standard inputs from Unreal Engine, so this should work for any gamepad pretty much. So yeah, as you can see here, we have all the inputs working, and we have these direction indicators on the joypads, and we have some other configurations we can show here. So if you want the kind of back triggers to also show, you can do that here as well. And then we can also swap this, so it kind of looks like an Xbox gamepad right there. Now it kind of looks like a PlayStation 1, just to swap those if you want to give your users the ability to do that, or if you just want to have it look a particular way for them. Then we also have the various colors, so here you have the gamepad color. You can set the gamepad frame to be whatever color you like, and you can also set the inactive color of the buttons, and you can set the active color of the buttons. So whatever you want to do as far as all that goes. And last but not least, we also have this right here. So this is for the joystick direction indicators. So you can see if I turn this all the way down to 0, it's going to start right there in the middle and scale up, whereas if I crank this way up, it's going to actually start further out. So this is the base scale. I found that 0.5 looks pretty nice in my opinion, but you can use whatever you like there. And the scaling, so you can see it's static. If I set that to 0, it doesn't scale at all, it just goes with the base. So if we set both these to 0, now we just don't get it. Now we don't get any analog stick. So yeah, do with this as you will. And if you want to separate the X and the Y scaling, you can just find references to this and see the two functions where I used it, and yeah, then you should be good. So, anyway, yeah, let's take a look at the actual blueprints here. Just set down my gamepad controller. Alright, so here is the controller. As you can see, it's just a whole bunch of overlaid animate buttons, which animate button is actually just an image, pretty much. It's just an image that's taking up the desired size. So all these images are 512 by 512, and I created them in Illustrator so that they perfectly line up together as long as they are all the same resolution. So yeah, you can just scale the widget as you like, and it should all scale appropriately because they're all the same resolution. So yeah, as you can see here, we've got a few properties that you really don't have to worry about too much, because you probably won't have to interact with this blueprint a whole lot directly. But is active just determines the brush color pretty much, and then temporarily active, this just gives you an opportunity to override the is active for this duration. And this is called also from the actual controller, not from this one, so you really don't have to worry about these at all. Anyway, let's take a look at this right here. So the three kind of main exposed properties for each button that you can worry about is the image brush, which yeah, if you have anything that's going to line up with these well, then you can just put that in there, and maybe add the translation to it so it lines up. Again, I did create these in Illustrator so they line up perfectly with this particular frame, but you could pretty easily make some new ones. Then we have the button type. So you have all the different standard buttons on a controller. If you want to add anything in there, you can do that pretty easily. Just go to the enum for that, obviously. And then the input keys. So this is the important part. So you can add as many input keys here as you want. Any one of those will register this. So if you want to say have your keyboard users still be able to use this graphic for whatever reason, then you can just add in the keyboard inputs or add in the VR inputs or whatever. Yeah. So we got mostly everything marked off here as either internal use or binding functions, but there is temporarily activate button and set selected layout translation. So I'm calling this from the sample UI to swap back and forth between the PlayStation-like and the Xbox-like layouts. And then temporarily activate button, you could use this to use as like a indicator to your player that they need to hit a certain button. And you can see I've got on here this option reset when player presses. So either it'll last for as long as the duration, so you can crank that up for, you know, a really, really large value and just have it last indefinitely if you really wanted to. Or you can set it to reset when the player presses it. So yeah, there's really not a whole lot to this. Let's see, there are a couple things. What else should I mention? Yeah, here's that scale and factor for the indicators. Again, X is the base scale and Y is the scaling factor. So yeah, there's really not a whole lot to this widget really. Pretty much just display it and use it. So yeah, hope you enjoy this. Please do like, share, and subscribe if you find this tool helpful, and have a great day.